loyal to you, Master. I'll be loyal to you.
This podcast is sponsored by RealComicBooks.com. RealComicBooks.com. ComicBooks.com.
Hey everybody! Boy, what a show we have! Boy, do we got a show. You know what? I was talking with my guest in the back in the green room, Gonzo, and I kind of came up with this concept when I met him for the first time in April of this year, about having some like Latin artists on and last week we had the female of IG comic art, Jessica Archer and Ella Bishop Hale and Savannah, right? And you know what? It's working because we get to bring on fantastic, talented artists, showcase them. And you may not even heard about them or know about them or whatever it is. Either way, you guys are lucky. And I'm lucky to consider these people my friends. That's right. Hey, okay. So let's go ahead and get this party started. What's up, Peter? Nice to have you on, my friend. Let's bring in the best color man in the business, my little Habibi. Oh, there he is. Hello.
What's up, Caesar? Hey, Peter. Hey, everybody. Welcome in.
Yeah, right. You're excited about this show, right, Dave?
I'm super excited, man. We got awesome people on tonight. I cannot wait.
Oh, look at that. We have. Hi, Erin. We have Ray's better half. Unfortunately, Ray won't be joining us today because he has all the artists in the background can understand he got a script to do and he's got to do it. He's got to focus. He's got to pay. He's got to buy stuff for Irene, and that's it. No one else, just Irene. That's all that matters.
While we're getting ramped up here, Caesar, pin the comment.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to pin the comment because you can watch us also on IG. People, remember, it's better for you to go on the YouTube page and comment and talk to the guests, talk to us. We're monitoring IG, but the people on the panel cannot see your comments on IG, and that's the part that sucks about this. So come on over. Let's have a conversation. All right, next we have Mark. Look at that.
Good evening.
Oh yeah. Mark's book is blowing up on Key Collector and Cover Price and all that stuff. Merciless.
Raymond Gay.
Merciless.
I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for a great read, he just held it up. Grab that book.
Merciless. Is it merciless or merciless? Is it merciless? Merciless. All right.
See, if you read more, you'd know how to say that word.
You son of a bitch! Don't start with me yet.
Is it merciless? Is it merciless?
Oh, okay. You know what, Dan? let's next. Now we're missing another guy, but eventually he'll show up. Albert Morales will show up sometime. I see Gonzo looking. He hasn't answered him yet. All right, here we are, Gonzo.
Hey, how's it going?
We got Gonzo in the house. Yeah, Gonzo.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, no response, man. I'll do this if my phone has any information for you. But
sounds good.
Yeah.
The next guest is a friend of the show, been around for a while, fan favorite because of his talent and his stone appeal. If you guys haven't seen, he had the one chip challenge, and this guy had a one chip. And I think he coughed once. I don't know how it is. I'm still paying for it, David. I'm still shitting my pants from that, and that was years ago. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Do it again.
It was good. It was hot as fuck. Yeah. All right, guys, we're missing 2 of the clans. Like I said, Raven won't be able to join us, and Albert would join when Albert joins, which is perfectly fine. How you doing there, Carm? Old man, we see you guys on IG, but like I said, come on over. Go to the YouTube. Jump in. Ask some questions to some fantastic artists here, especially if you are of Latin descent, Hispanic, Latinx, whatever the fuck they're using nowadays. I don't even know what I am anymore. I remember the first time I heard Latinx, I'm like, Latinx? I don't remember my grandfather ever using the word Latinx. My God, I don't know. Maybe I'm just old. I'm that old man, at the clouds. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I always say Chicano just because white people are unsure if they can use the word.
Chicano.
Yeah. What's the fun in being a minority?
Is it derogatory?
Chicano used to be, here if you want a little history, Chicano used to be what Mexicans in Mexico called that second generation that like after the border got drawn in California. It's very specific kind of to California. So like it used to be Mexico. Suddenly it's America. Then that first generation that kind of got born as Americans who like no habla kids like no habla kids who like don't speak Spanish and stuff like so they would but their parents had been Mexican or are Mexican. So the Mexicans in Mexico would call them Chicanos, like you're not Mexican, you're Chicano, and it became a derogatory term, from Mexico based on Latinos and Mexican Latinos in California until the 60s and 70s when it got reclaimed as an empowerment term with like Cesar Chavez, scandal noted. I understand he's a complicated figure, but it was Cesar Chavez and that kind of Chicano movement that was like kind of reclaimed the word as a point of power and cultural identity. And I think it does speak specifically to at least my situation in that I am from Southern California. I am my family very much is from Mexico until borders got drawn, and then suddenly they were American. It didn't change my culture or my heritage; it just changed my nationality. And so I would say, like my nationality is American or from the U.S. My ethnicity is Chicano. Like that's how I would qualify it. And again, it's a word that white people are unsure about using. And what's the fun in being a minority if you can't make white people nervous? So,
well, it's interesting. Even a lot of these words, like whether it's Chicano or whatever it may be, these words now, and you said it perfectly. They're getting people a renewed sense of identity, and there's pride in that now. Like people are finding renewed pride in that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean.
Everyone's free to talk to however they feel comfortable identifying themselves. I know, like, listen, if I'm a non-binary Latino kid, like Latino is male. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, hey, I want to be Latinx because I'm not like Latina, I'm not Latino. Like, I understand that, like, and I want everyone to feel safe and comfortable. So however you want to identify, I just, it's weird to like, I think as Latinos, like we're constantly explaining the difference between like Latino and Hispanic and like what that, what that might mean. And even that, like we were talking earlier about definitions. In my head, like I understand how the etymology of that used to work in a world when I was young and learning things, when like Hispanic just meant that Spanish was your first language, right? So everything from Mexico all the way down to Antarctica, except for Brazil, is Hispanic, right? And Spain is Hispanic because they speak Spanish there. Latino is fallout from Spanish colonialism in the New World. So that is everything the southern part of America, most of a good chunk of the U.S.
See, you need to write this, Gonzo. You need to write this down for me because when we were making the promo for the show, I swear, ask Caesar. I messaged him. And I'm like, I'm framing this up. What's the appropriate vernacular here? Hispanic, Latino, Latin. Like, what do I put here? He goes, that's an excellent question. That was Caesar, right?
Because. I mean, like you said, Gonzo. I mean, it could go either. I consider myself Mexican. I'm first generation.
Okay.
First generation Mexican, right? My parents are from Sonora, Hermosillo. Yeah. I was born here. My sister was born here, but I have siblings that were born in Mexico. When people ask, "What are you?" I'm like, well, I mean, I was born here. I'm American, but I have Mexican heritage.
Yeah, but you speak Spanish? ¿Sí hablas español?
Sí, claro que sí.
Yeah. See, like, and that, there's like then we got into like gatekeeping, right? And the respectability politics of like, if you're not Latino unless you speak Spanish, or I would say you're not Hispanic unless you speak Spanish, right? Like, or Spanish is primarily. So I mean, you would qualify, I would say, as Latino and Hispanic, but I am not Hispanic because I don't, so what's it called? Yeah, like, entiendo algunas cosas, pero no habla bien. Like I can work my way around it, but I would never identify as Hispanic because I don't speak Spanish primarily, nor do I live in a place where language or like Spanish is the primarily spoken language. But that's not to say that, like we were talking about earlier, that like new generations haven't come to define them as different things. But I see Latino as fallout from Spanish colonialism, typically with some amount of indigenous blood in you, as well as something from the Iberian Peninsula in that area. Kind of like mestizo, right? Like somehow miss, but I know like mestizo has also become a very fraught term. So listen, I think the more specific, but also it's like I don't have much in common with like an Argentinian. You know what I mean? Like, and like technically we're both Latinos, nor a Chilean, right? Like,
and I'll tell you what, and I'm going to tell you, guilty by association, you don't want to have association with the Argentinians because they are like the villains right now.
I understand that, but it's like but so to homogenize all brown people from the Mexican-American border down to Antarctica, but exclude Brazil, I tell you what, man, I tend to vibe better with Brazilians, even though they're not Hispanic, right? They're Latinos. Because anyway, however anyone wants to identify, but on a very specific granular level, I say Chicano.
So now I don't know what I am.
Because Chicano is very specific to a Californian. I was Chicano because I'm from California, of Mexican descent, and again, I have no immigration story. No one in my family crossed the border. We were all just where we had lived for hundreds of years, and suddenly we went from being Mexicans to being Americans.
Don't worry about it. We live in a generation where you can rewrite history. Rewrite your own history.
Okay. Hold on a second. I have a message. You guys continue talking amongst yourselves. I'm gonna get you some Albert information here.
Because I was gonna say, Gonzo, Peter says you're way too smart for this podcast. So if you don't mind, just stop talking for the next hour and 45 minutes. That'd be fantastic. David, do you speak Spanish?
I don't. I can understand. I just have to pay attention to the context when spoken to in Spanish, and if there's that one word that I can understand in Spanish, then it kind of paints the whole picture of what we just spoke about.
Is it hola, David? Hola?
No, it's
I'm kidding.
It can be a little bit more than that, but it's I was born here in Texas. My parents were born here in Texas. My grandparents were born here in Texas, but their parents were from Mexico. And we growing up, it wasn't really something that we discussed too often. My parents kind of shielded us away from all that. Because they went through so much growing up, and their parents went through so much growing up. My grandfather didn't have his folks for too long, and basically helped raise his sister helped raise him and his brothers and sisters. So and then growing up, my dad and his brothers, my mom and her sisters, it basically just they were trying to keep us from understanding what was actually going on in the world, and just kind of shield us from that. And it wasn't until later on in life when we started to realize that they kept us from teaching us Spanish. So one reason, because they can talk about us behind our backs without us knowing. The other one, they felt like it was
jokes on them.
Yeah, and I'm like,
David, that's really relatable. Same thing. My parents Lebanese. I mean, my dad came here when he was young. I know some Arabic, but they were not teaching us Arabic. They thought we're in America, English,
Right. And it was just something that they had experienced growing up themselves, and they thought, well, maybe we shouldn't. And, obviously as you get to, 18, you're looking for your first job, they didn't realize it actually benefited you knowing Spanish and stuff like that. But, again, that was just the way they were. I mean, my mindset was focused on football and growing up and all that stuff. And then, drawing was my way of kind of my mind, keeping it focused on that and away from what was going on in the world, just.
It's a normal thing, David. Especially, I know in Texas, there's a lot of that Spanglish. I know that Texas uses a lot of Spanglish, right? But I've grown up hearing a lot of that, where I know a lot of Mexicans who don't speak a lick of Spanish, and they always said, well, my parents were born here, right? And their grandparents, they didn't teach their kids English because they were afraid to be made fun of in school. So I get that a lot. They're like, we so that shielding part, right, of we didn't want them to learn Spanish because we didn't want them to be, get made off in school and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So it's like, and then you just go down the line and it just never,
Yeah, my grandparents grew up in LA. Like, they were all like, like, I don't know, at that point, second generation, or I guess, first generation, maybe Americans at that point. And, grew up in LA, like my grandparents like lived through the Zoot Suit riots where they were just pulling Mexicans off the street to beat the shit out of them. And so after the war, when they had my parents, my grandparents didn't teach my parents Spanish because they didn't want to have accents. So like, I want you to like be able to pass as much as possible. And honestly, I feel like, shitty to admit, but like, I feel like I've done all right, maybe even better in my life because I don't have an accent. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a messed up thing to admit, but like, it was easier for me to sound like this than to have both Gonzalez as a surname and to have an accent.
But Gonzo, can I say something?
Yeah.
When you don't have an accent and yet you speak another language, it's almost like a superpower.
Yeah. Well, see, like when I do, like, like when I was just talking to Cesar, about, like, entiendo algunas cosas, pero no hablo bien. Like, sí hablo un poquito español, y muy mal, pero estoy aprendiendo. Like, I sound like I know what I'm doing. And then people like, will then talk to me like, I gotta like, back off of it. But like, it is like, I would love to learn, and the Spanish I do speak, I do sound like, a native speaker, like, because I learned it from native speakers. Like I know how to emulate the sounds of Spanish, but like, but I sound like a Californian more than I sound like, Bill or Ted. Like I understand like, what I sound like. And I know that I know for a fact my life has been easier with this intonation to how I speak than if I sounded like my tata. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting. Albert, welcome to the show, my friend. First time,
hey, Albert.
First
Thanks,
time
what's up,
you made it
on the show, and yeah, well, there you are.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Albert
this guy's
is currently in jail. What are you doing there?
I was thinking that. I'm like, are you posing for photos?
I'm calling for myself. I don't do a lot of podcasts. I don't do a lot of outside interactions. That's why they keep me in my cell pretty much.
Gotcha.
hey, Albert, do you speak Spanish, or you're a non? You don't speak, or you know a little bit?
I know a little bit. It's definitely very much Tex-Mex or broken Spanish. And honestly, the way that I learned, funny enough, is because I was never taught as a kid. I'd always listen. I could hear everybody speaking Spanish, but they never actually taught me. If anything, I got told, "Do you see that guy over there? As a white guy that did construction." He's like, "You don't speak Spanish in front of him because he knows what you're saying." I'm like, "Okay, don't talk business in front of him." And but right. It's but I learned from luchadores actually. I used to do some work with some lucha libre and stuff like that, and I was able to train and work with some of the guys. And while they practiced their English, I practiced my Spanish, and I actually learned more from them than I did anything else. So when the bottle comes out, more Spanish is coming out. So
oh wow! What when the bottle comes out, fucking Dan speaks Spanish for Pete's sake, and he's living in English.
Yeah, we order quesadillas and everything.
Yeah. Mark is the whitest guy. Mark is the whitest guy here. He's like,
I am. Yeah, I was gonna say
fluent in Spanish when he drinks.
Hey, I took Spanish for 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks in high school, so I learned to count to 10, and I think I learned like the como está stuff and like that. That was the extent.
Yeah, I'll speak it from time to time. You'll catch me speaking it, and then like if I go down to Texas for something, like I think I actually surprised the shit out of my parents. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you guys cuss on this? Can we cuss on this?
Yeah, you can.
So I think I surprised them a couple of times where they're like, "Oh, what the hell is going on here?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's you had to learn, and when you're on your own, you got to learn different stuff." So
I mean, Albert, you can definitely curse on YouTube. I don't know what they feel about cursing while you're in the penitentiary, but
fuck that guy over there.
Hey, Albert, do me a favor and turn to the left. Okay, there we go. Look straight. Thank you. There we go. Turn to the right.
Anytime soon, Albert. I mean, we love you, dude.
You do know that's going to be a clip, right, for the show. All right.
I will say, I'm jealous of people that have that are fluent like that. Like, I mean, I speak some Arabic. I'm learning Japanese now because we're going to get ready for a trip. If you don't learn it when you're young, it is a major hurdle. I mean, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I got to tell you guys, it's weird because I take a step back because I forget I know 2 languages, that I'm bilingual. I take it for granted because I just it's weird because when I speak to my parents, we all speak Spanish, and then so basically Thanksgiving, the family talks to my parents in Spanish, and then I'll turn around and talk English to my sister, and then we talk Spanish to my parents. And growing up, people thought probably once again because I don't necessarily speak with the Mexican accent or Spanish accent, they didn't know what I was. They thought I was Italian, they thought I was Greek, they thought all these things. So when I worked at the county hospital, I think I might have told you, Gonzo, when I worked at the county hospital in LA, the nurses were all, speaking Spanish and all that. And so they looked at me, they're like, "Oh, do you speak Spanish?" I'm like, "No, I know some things like que hora es, mi me gusta jalapenos, that kind of shit." So then once I stopped talking, they would start talking shit in Spanish about me. And then they would wait for them to stop, and I said, "Bueno, señoritas, nos vemos como a las 3." And their eyes, their mouth, I said, "That teaches you guys a lesson. Never assume anything around anyone because you never know what they do or do not know."
Yeah.
Right. And that's my lesson for everyone on this podcast today.
Well, and you don't
talk shit around people.
So again, it's my thing. It's a superpower. Not that there's anything wrong with an accent. I mean, I grew up around accents my entire life, but you don't have one, and then you can speak fluently. It's a superpower. You are literally on your radar.
Well, I did kind of. I was a little mean. I said, "Oh, you're Mexican." I said, "Hold on. Is it because I'm not 5'2", straight hair, wearing a sarape, leaning up against a cactus with a donkey, and I talk like these, right? I mean, I don't know. And it's like, they're like, no, it's not what I mean. I'm like, just hold on to it. We evolved.
You can have an Edgar cut. That's
like an Edgar cut.
Yeah,
Dan's the closest to that right now. Is the Edgar cut. All right, so let's talk about the art. Now I have some art queued up and all that stuff. And you know what threw me off, David? Why I thought you were going to San Diego is because I saw the SDCC for that cover of yours, and that's what threw me off.
Yeah,
right. You have a couple exclusives hidden.
I do have Battle Beast 11 and Blood of the Wolfman #1.
Yeah,
our first time drawing both.
Nice, congrats, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's show some.
When we get to a spot here, I got a softball question for these guys here, Caesar. Whenever we get to a point.
Look at this, David.
Man,
nice.
This piece was
Conquest
actually.
Battle Beast.
I couldn't finish the original artwork within time to meet the deadline, so I had to convert it to Procreate and try to learn different brushes and try to redo hair and use the different brushes for leather. And I mean, it saved me a bunch of time, but honestly, like we talked about in the green room, I've never finished a piece that I've drawn. I've always ran out of time. So this is one of those things where I wish I could have done so many things differently, but I'm really happy with the way that it did and ultimately end up coming out. And did all myself, and was just really happy.
Last week, David, we had Jessica Archer, who's also a black and white artist, and she's phenomenal. I said, "Oh, if you're not following David, man, you guys are a match made in heaven because it is." There's something about and before I show the next one, what's your softball question?
No. Go through the art first because we were gonna run it through each of the guys.
Okay, all right. This is the piece that David's going to be sending me. This is your latest, right? This is your latest, right, David?
Yes, that's my latest. My favorite that I've drawn in a long time. My first Universal Monsters cover. I'm a huge Universal Monsters fan. I have figures and stuff everywhere. But I mean, this entire display case is full of Creature from the Black Lagoon. And when I got the opportunity from Barry Gary, I was just like, yeah, I'll cancel whatever I got right now. So I wanted to do something mid-transformation. I wanted to feel something. And, it ultimately, I saw a lot of the covers that were coming out, and I saw a lot of similarities with them. And nothing against any of those pieces. They were amazing and very inspirational. But I wanted to get up close and personal with this one, and I felt like this was the best way to do it.
You said the perfect word. When I was looking at this art, I thought, man, I mean, it's visually stunning, but I can feel this piece. You know, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
so I got a question, man. So you said you didn't really get to finish a piece of artwork. Was this the finished, like?
No.
Oh, really?
I ran out of time, and Gary was getting pressed on the deadline from Jose, and I love Jose to death, even though I've never spoken but a couple words to him, but he was pressing him for time, and I was rushing, and I was like, I really want to put blood all over this guy. I really want to put blood all over him.
People are losing their shit on Instagram over this. They're like, amazing piece. They can't get over this. I mean, this is amazing.
I did not.
But you know what though, David? There's something about only half of him having the blood that works. I would rather have this than the full blood. But there's just something about the half that
the splattering,
that works on this piece.
For sure.
And I wanted to go because I mean the character he looks like a younger kid, and he's got curly hair. He's very different from the Lon Chaney's, very different from the Benicio del Toro. Like the ones that you would see. And so I'm like, he looks younger, and I was like, wow, I want to do something. I want to see the nose start to turn into that wolf, and I want to have a little bit of that forehead showing, and some of the, I don't know. Gary and them were so cool about letting me have full control and full real estate. I didn't have to worry about trade dress. I didn't have to do any of that stuff. It was the perfect storm, honestly, and I was grateful.
That's the one, and we talked about in the green room. David is one of those people that I can show anyone and not even tell them he's a comic book enthusiast, and they're just floored. And I think that's when you got it. This is the last piece that I'm showing for David's crew here. Once again, the details. I mean, pencil. That's crazy. Well, no wonder you fucking ran out of time. Shit. I mean, how honestly in this Wolfman one, how long would you think it would take you if someone said you don't have a time limit, David? How long will it say? Just give me a complete vision.
This one took almost 3 weeks for me to draw.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
The fuck out of here.
It was
3 weeks. I couldn't find the pencil in 3 weeks.
No, I mean it's you give me time and opportunity, and I'll take advantage of it. This one as well. This one another one that I met. I had trouble meeting, but the good thing was trying to base my work off of Zoe Rusu's Venom cover. I like the puzzle aspect of it, how the hair just flows into one another, and it just was fun. I found ways to stay into it because after a while, when you're drawing with a mechanical pencil all day, you tend to fall asleep at the table. So I had to find ways to stay involved and stay motivated and stay going. But like I said, working a normal job and drawing and a couple hours sleep here and there, you kind of started to see double. So
yeah, I know that.
I had a really good time with this piece.
Spontaneous is asking if that's for Sick Tick 50.
This one's actually for the 10th printing of issue number 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was lucky enough to be one of the few that got an opportunity to do it. And I love Boom. I love Greg. I love everybody there. I can't say enough good things about Greg. I mean, he's given me so many opportunities, and to allow me to be a part of that run of number ones was huge. I mean, I remember I tried to get on this book when it first came out, and I tried every month. I would get denied. And it wasn't until issue 15 that I finally got approved. And it was thanks to a bunch of people, Ryan Rumley, everybody that was a part of that series. Those guys helped me get to this point. Pastime Comics, all those guys. And I haven't done something to Skilled Children since issue 16, and I thought, well, this is the perfect time to try. And it just everything was aligned, all the stars and all that. So,
Well, you did a phenomenal work. So before I go on to the next, because what I want to do is I want to showcase the art of these fine gentlemen. Then we'll get into some conversations. But before we do that, Dan, what did you have? What's the softball question?
Let's start with Albert and kind of go, to the right. But my question is, you guys are amazing. But what was the first story or character or image that you saw that really made you want to kind of go into this career? Like, what was it?
Yeah, what's that inspiration piece that the one that made you go, I want to do this?
Yeah, ready to start with Gonzo. I got to think about this for a second.
I'll give these guys time to think. So I loved Spider-Man as a kid, and I used to get my grandfather used to cut out the Spider-Man strip in the LA Times for me because we didn't get it at the Orange County Register. I grew up in Cypress, right inside Orange County. Anyway, so I used to love the look of how different that kind of Marvel house style looked compared to all the other newspaper strips. So those really kind of got me into the art form, but because my grandparents knew that I loved Spider-Man and I loved comic book art, they bought me in 1977. They bought this Marvel set of rubber stamps that you would just put on an ink pad, and it was like all of the kind of either Ramita or Kirby stamps. There's like Thor, all these, Spider-Man, all these things, but it had a Silver Surfer on it, Kirby Silver Surfer. And I remember stamping it onto a piece of paper and seeing that it was either black or white. There's no gradation, there's no halftone, no nothing. It was all black line work, and it still looked like metal. And I just remember seeing that little, like that stamp is like this big, and just being like, I need to figure out how to do that. Like that can be done. I need to figure out how that gets done. And so that one Jack Kirby image of Silver Surfer in 1977 in this Marvel stamp set that I keep meaning to try to find online and buying that stamp set again. So if anyone out there sees a Marvel 1977 stamp set, let me know. Like that single image of Silver Surfer literally, I made a career decision at 4 years old. I was like, I'm gonna fucking do this. I want to learn how to do that. And then I've spent the next 50 some odd or 48, I guess at this point, years trying to figure out how that happened.
That's crazy. At 4 years old, I was still trying to figure out why is this thing leaking water between my legs. So I'm let alone trying to figure out what the hell this stamp was. I mean, that's
still figuring it.
And I'm still trying to figure out. You son of a bitch, Dan. I swear.
David, what about you, man? What was it for you?
For me, it was my father and I we were big collectors growing up, and we would collect Spawn figures no matter what they were, whether sports or actual Spawn or anything related, movie maniacs, anything Spawn related. And so Spawn has always been the focus point for me growing up, and something I gravitated towards. I don't know how else to put it, but it was, I never thought I'd be in comics at all. Originally, when I was drawing, I had made friends with the guys at Pastime, and I was always helping them out at their store. And at the time I was drawing, I was drawing like portraits for family members and their dogs and cats and stuff, and it was fun at the time. But my buddies there would always give me these blanks, and I would just try to draw the characters on the blanks, whether it be Ghost Rider or whatever the case was. And I did one drawing, and they saw it, and everybody just,
That's what I was going to ask you. When was the drawing where they go, holy shit, there's something here?
I drew Gabriel. It was a Gabriel Luna's Ghost Rider on a Ghost Rider blank, and they saw it the next day. They went and did their auction, and it just completely went bonkers. And I don't know why, but at the time when that happened, I got the bug. I want to keep doing this. I love this. People, I didn't think people liked my work. I mean, I've told you this before. I'm like, I've never thought anybody really liked my work. And the fact that all these different characters growing up as a kid caught my attention and really came into where I'm at now. I wish I would have started sooner, but I don't regret how it started at all. It was very fun, very life-changing for me and my family, and guys, we get to draw for a living. It's awesome, and it's a blessing, and to have the opportunities that I've had and that we all have had, it's amazing. I'm truly grateful to be a part of this community.
That's awesome.
It always amazes me that you kids, all three of you kids, get to draw for a living and get fucking paid for it, and it's
ridiculous.
It's crazy.
It's never lost on me. Whenever I walk into my art studio and I'm like, I drew this, I made this happen, and I got to be a guest at a show in India last year, and they flew me out and they put me up, and I got to be in India, and I got to when I got to my hotel room after 30 hours of traveling, and I just looked out onto India, I'm like, I fucking drew my way here. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
even hearing you say that, I can't wrap my brain around that.
Yeah,
that's
believe me, on a pure survival hunter gatherer, I serve no social purpose. You know what I mean?
No, that's not true, man. You inspire imaginations, man. That's bold.
I don't. I never try
to that.
Yeah, but you would do that with everything, right? If you drive that car, you're like, I drew that car.
Yeah,
I drew this trip.
Everything in my life I drew, it's just nuts. You know what I mean? I don't. It's the ridiculous of that. Of that is never lost on me. That the thing I used to get in trouble for when I was in math class in 1988 is the thing that pays all of my bills now.
Yeah. Look at me now, you son of a bitch! Right?
Yeah. I told you that story last time, right? The guidance counselor that told me. I was in. Those who haven't heard it, I was in detention in high school. I was drawing a skull because you just had to be quiet in detention. And my guidance counselor came over my shoulder and he looked and he saw what I was drawing. And he's like, "That's a beautiful skull, Mr. Gonzalez. I just don't think you can make a living drawing skulls." And so every time Marvel Comics pays me to draw a skull for them, I'm like, "Fuck you, Mr. Gold." Every fucking time.
So current tally is Gonzo Silver Surfer, David Ghost Rider, Albert. You're up.
I think David's was Spawn, wasn't it? Spawn.
Well,
yeah,
that's what got him going. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
Ghost Rider that really
Ghost Rider. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it was Spawn that kind of got him going.
So my first books were Spider-Man, like Gonzo. But I think the one that did it for me the most is like David, Ghost Rider. I think my career, even though I've gotten to only do a card set for Ghost Rider, is actually tied to the writer for Ever and a Day. Most of my dad had the Old West comics of Ghost Rider by Dick Ayers and stuff like this, and then he had the Phantom Rider, which is literally just a reprint with just a different title. I've known Ghost Rider ever since I was a kid, and growing up in the 90s or 80s, 90s, and then seeing the Danny Ketches and stuff like that, and then my first tryout pages were I did put together some Spawn versus Ghost Rider pages and showed them to Brian Polito, or the editor-in-chief at Chaos Comics, Brian Polito's place. And my roommate ended up getting the internship because he did this Spawn on this black piece of paper. And I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. And but I ended up not going into the office for the whole time he was there. I wouldn't do it. Then he quit, and I went into the office, and they still remembered my name off of those pages, which was great. Stephen Hughes, before he died, I got to see those pages as well. And his wife ended up starting a small press company called Bitch Press, and I was the first person she called based off of that stuff. Past that, I've stopped doing work for a little while, and I went to San Diego Comic-Con and just to get inspired, and I took a break, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be there on Saturday. And I stayed in the hotel room Saturday, knocked out 3 pages of the writer, took them back in on Sunday, and then right off the bat, I just started getting work again, and I'm like, okay, great. So like my career is completely based around the writer. But yeah, I think that's probably the most inspirational character for me. That's closest to me.
It's once again, it's fascinating to think that when you guys look around at your life and go, well, like Gonzo said, I kind of drew this into fruition.
Right.
That's a pretty cool thing. Not many people could say that.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Mark's a writer, right? Mark, do you do that, Mark? I mean, do you kind of go like, hey, I'm a pretty lucky and talented guy here.
I mean, I'm lucky. Yeah. I think, I think I can write. But for me, it's more of the artists that bring that to life. Like, I love seeing these characters, that I create or, that I think up, and seeing them brought to life by the artist. And so, like, for me, it's been across the board. Like, working with Alex has been the greatest. Like, there's just something about his art that I love. It's not like traditional, but I love like what he's doing. Ray did a cover. Ray and I were going to work on a book, but he got tied up in all this other stuff. So hopefully, someday we can come back to that. But
that's Ray's cover right there.
Oh, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm lucky to be able to work with the people I work with. People like this that are way more creative than I am. I can't draw to save my life. I would probably be worse than Tom King if I was drawing on somebody's cover. So yeah. So don't ever ask me to do like a remark or anything.
Let me get a remark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, Dan used to have a book of that Tom King. You sold it.
No, I still have it.
Oh, you didn't sell it.
Nobody's buying that thing.
Okay, well, this is the Alex cover right here.
That's our absolute Batman homage. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
It's badass. Hey, this thing's
Alex
making the rounds, man.
Dude. Yeah, I love that guy. I had him do a pinup for when I put the trade paperback of my character Lamano del Destino together. When I put the trade paperback, I wanted to get pinups from artists that I just personally like, so that I could write a little appreciation of like why I included them. And he was one of the first people I reached out to. And then he was like, I think his scanner broke or something, so he just mailed it to me. He's like, hey, just you can have it. And I'm like, you don't want me to like pay you for it, or I think I did pay him for it. Like, he's like, you don't want the art back to sell it? He's like, nah, it's just yours. So it's up in my art studio. It's like one of my prized possessions. Yeah, Alex, I think, is one of the best kept secrets in comic. Like, someone's gonna figure him out soon, and then it's just like, and then he won't answer our phone calls anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried that's gonna happen to all three of you guys. Eventually, be like, oh, Caesar, that guy. Yeah. I remember that guy. Yeah, what a douche. That being said, let's show some of Albert's stuff. Albert is Albert has one thing is funny about your guys' all styles, right? We know David because David is serious as fuck, right? And we're gonna show Gonzo's in a bit, but I see Albert has this sort of, it's this almost cartoony. It's fun. I don't know if that makes any sense. Maybe if it's some other stuff that I show here.
Well, the
is this you, Albert?
No, that's actually.
I will say I love the graffiti style sig. That's awesome.
No, thanks, I appreciate it. This is actually Andy Carrion, my studio mate. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. That's right up your alley, Dan, because it's Sailor Moon Knight.
Yeah. So our buddy Dave had this idea a while ago, and he's like, he goes, I want to do this book called Sailor Moon Knight, and he kept putting it to the side, and I kept on telling him, I was like, dude, you got to put that out. That's money, and it's just great. It's fun. People, obviously, manga and anime is really big right now. Sailor Moon's a name people know. Moon Knight.
Albert, don't say the M word on this show. Caesar will lose his flipping mind.
Oh, okay.
Albert, you've been warned.
Okay.
If you want to, If you want to come back on the show, you say that fucking word one more time. I swear I will
You can
drop
say
you like
the
a
M
fat
word
ass.
to me all day, Albert. I love the M word, but Caesar will lose his shit.
But that being said, I am going to have an
Money?
anime
You don't
manga
like
show next week. Wow, I wish I knew how to read. I could make lots of money. Hey, so this is the good stuff right here, man.
Nice.
I got to see some of Albert's stuff up close when I met him. We went to me and my buddy Joey and buddy Johnny went to Old Man Con and went to go see Albert's shop and all that stuff. And it seems like forever ago, Albert, but I think it was. It was not. It was like last year. You have a really unique style that I also I dig a lot. It's memorable. Let's put it that way. You stuck in my cranium there with your art style, and
that's really kind, man.
I'm assuming you like. I mean that. See, there was a time there where everybody and their grandmother was drawing Battle Beast. Everyone was drawing Battle Beast.
Yes, I got stuck with drawing. I mean, stuck is a nice word, but I did a job in Vegas for Amazing Con, and I from that point on, which had to be like April, May or something like that. From that point on, all the way to the rest of the year, I was drawing Battle Beasts, like 30 books a month, just Battle Beast commissions, just like blam, 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 blam. Thanks, Peter. So once they took that break from Battle Beast, it was kind of funny because they took a break in December or January, whichever you want to call it. But I think that the call for Battle Beast just kind of went straight down. And I was like, oh man, okay. They shouldn't have taken a break. And then all of a sudden, recently, I've had a resurgence of Battle Beast stuff and Invincible stuff. And when does this air? Is this live right now?
This is live right now.
Oh, okay. Well, there's news coming out tomorrow for San Diego Comic-Con. So, yeah.
There we go.
But yeah, so directly tied to this kind of stuff.
Hey, Bronson.
But yeah, very kind. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, Albert, did I read right that you also in a past life were a Marvel Upper Deck sketch card artist?
I was, yeah.
How was that? How did you find your way there? And do you miss doing that work?
Tenacity. I lied through my teeth. Did I like
American
doing
way.
it? I did like it. I liked it for a time. I think with everything you kind of do, it's already some problems.
You're not breaking an NDA.
Yeah,
Come on. He's like, yeah, it's tomorrow somewhere.
Yeah. I'll tell you before we leave. You got to watch the whole show, Bronson. I'll tell you at the end of the show.
That's right.
There you go.
But I actually put together a couple of sets, and I tell any artist this that wants to get some kind of credentials under the name. I usually tell them, hey, do some sketch cards. Give me 10 to 12. Give me 10 to 12 cards. Let me see them, and bring it to me. And let me help you out. So I try and thanks, Bronson. I try and help them out as much as I can. But I got the editors or one of the talent relations guys email, said, hey, here's those cards you inquired about. I've got some room in my schedule. If you're interested, let me know. I've got let's play together. So he's like, oh yeah, we'll send you. Love them. We'll send you out these cards right there. Thanks so much for sending those over. Got the work. So and then I just kind of kept on from there. Eventually, I kind of pulled out though. I was just like, okay, after so many sets, I kind of wanted to do something else and concentrate more on the books than the cards. But most recently, I've been asked to do a couple of things here. Card wise that I've agreed to do. So yeah, it just kind of takes the right project.
That's fuck, I lost my train of thought.
It's a very
because someone
Robert
asked,
Kirkman to do, just lie through your teeth and be like, oh yeah, there's the aliens and zombies and where's the aliens? Oh yeah, I lied about that. They're just father and son walking across the earth.
Albert, somebody said earlier, I think it was maybe Gonzo, or somebody said, I'm lucky. Like I'm lucky, and I think obviously I respect the comment because he's in India looking and he's like, I'm lucky I'm here, right? But the old saying, I'd rather be lucky than good, I don't think applies in this field because you've got to be good. You you can't only be so much lucky to be put in front of somebody's desk. But when they're looking at your portfolio or they're looking at your work and it's not good, they're gonna be like, all right, give you some pointers, send you on your way. You guys have been doing this for a while now. That's not luck. I mean, you guys.
Sure. You got to control the things you can control for when the situations show up, right? Like, I can't control whether or not I get to talk to the talent scout at Marvel or DC, whatever. But what I can do is hone my skill so that if I'm in line for coffee in San Diego and the guy in front of me is the talent scout for Dark Horse, whatever, I have no problem showing a portfolio work that, like, hey man, this is the stuff that I do, or hand them a comic that I made, right? Like all you can there is luck involved, but you have to be in the best position possible to receive that luck when it does show up. And I think that David and Albert are both guys who like honed their craft. So when those moments presented themselves, it wasn't just I could have, because like, man, I got to talk to Joe Quesada. We were having lunch next to each other in like 99 or something like that, and that didn't do me any good because I was a shit ass artist. I wasn't good enough to make Marvel comics at that point. You know what I mean? Like I showed him the stuff that I had. He said that it was interesting, but there was no way that if he had handed me an assignment, I could have got it done on time or worthy of being on a Marvel comic at that time. So like I worked on my craft for when Ricky Purdon did call me, I was ready to go. Sorry, Albert, I cut you off, man.
It's really interesting you're saying that too, because like for me myself, like again, to David's credit too, like he even said it himself, he never has time to finish a project. I feel like I'm always in a rush to get things done, and I don't have the time to actually really concentrate on what I want to put down on the paper or the cover or anything else like that. There's been a few instances where I definitely hit what I wanted to hit, but I think that's another reason that while I do have stuff coming out of San Diego Comic-Con, I am not there. I won't be there. But specifically because I want to take the time away and concentrate on the work that's on my desk, but also put down. I got some personal projects that I want to do, and and Gonzo, I know we know each other for a while. You have a certain look that you're going for, and I really want to try and hit that mark without being in a reactive kind of state of like, oh, I got to get this work done, or I got to get this done, or I'm trying to get this next commission or this next job.
Yeah, the comics are the job. Like I canceled Heroes and I canceled Phoenix Con for that exact reason, where I'm like, those things are fun, and I love being at shows and making money and seeing. Or sorry to say, I love being at shows and doing well and meeting fans and what have you. But like, my job is a comic artist, so that has to come first. Yeah. So if I'm gonna eschew my responsibilities as an artist, and I could have hit all of the deadlines I needed to still make those shows, but the work would have been half-assed. And I guarantee you, I'll bet you dollars to donuts that if I had rushed through those jobs, those are the things that would have been on Screen Rant or Entertainment Weekly or something like, because some of my shit has ended up there. And it's like, when Sci-Fi Magazine just ran the Star Trek covers that I did, they were the best possible Star Trek covers that I could have done. I'm totally happy with how they came up. But there was a real distinct chance that I would have had to half-ass some of them just to hit a deadline, so I could have still made it to those shows. So sometimes you got to, I've learned recently I got to be the grown-up and be like, no. My obligation is to the job part of it before I can engage in the showman part of it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The trials and tribulations of an artist that people don't realize, the background bullshit that you guys deal with, the stress. I'm going to say the stress. Kudos if you're married. Kudos to the wives that are going, damn it. Reservations at 6, and you just started drawing at 5:58. Don't worry, I'll finish it in 2 minutes. Don't worry about it.
Dude, I've definitely done that. My advice I give to all young artists when they're like, what do you need to get into this industry? I'm like, find a partner who has a real job. Like, that is the number one thing. Is like, if you want to be a comic artist, you need a fucking spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, that has a real fucking job, preferably with benefits, that can that will keep you kind of a real person, but B, can float you between the feast and famine that is being a freelance artist. Like, yeah.
Right. I know, David, you still have a job, right?
Yeah, that's the reason I was going to say I took on a job because my wife wanted to go to nursing school, and she let me have my fun because I was full-time drawing for 5 years, and she let me have my fun for a little while. And,
you pulled the AJ Styles move, man. Oh, that's cool, man.
Got to make sure that she's happy and whatever she faces in her path, I definitely want to be there. Art, I love draw. I love what I do. I love the people I get to meet. I love, being on shows like this, and it's just as long as she's happy with it, and she's not, that's all I care about really these days. As long as she's happy.
I told her again, my wife's been out of work now for a year. I said, honey, don't worry about it. I have a podcast now. So, rack up those credit cards. Don't worry. I'm going to start bringing in the dough with this fucking shitty podcast that I do every Tuesday. But honestly, it's I'll say it again. It's quite the blessing. That being said, let's go ahead and show some of Gonzo's stuff. If you know Gonzo, he has a specific style, right? But this one threw me for a loop. I was not expecting that, and it is so different.
Oh, thanks, man.
Different.
Yeah. They Marvel does Marvel hired me the first time because of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Calaveras that I had done. And they wanted me to do Calavera of Ghost Rider because they were doing a remembrance issue of him. And then, the second gig they gave me was like, hey, we kind of want to see if you can do something other than this Mexican folk art style. And I did a Ghost Rider 2099. And once they saw that, they're like, yes, you can do that. So Marvel does just give me jobs that don't require me to really lean into because most of my career has been built on putting my culture into my work. But I still have that kind of artistic approach to the things that I do that aren't wrapped in Chicano culture, right? They aren't Mexican folk art. And, I also spent, 30 years working in advertising. And so when someone hires me to do a cover outside of retailer exclusives, when a company hires me to do a cover, they have basically asked me to be on the marketing team. Because my job is to grab attention to possibly sell them the book. And so I try to think of these as kind of ads for the book that's inside. And so when Marvel came to me, they were like, this is a story where Gambit is being possessed by the Eye of Agamotto. He's got these bat wings and, what have you. So just do a cool cover. And I was like, well, I thought that, the Eye of Agamotto, whenever it's shown in Marvel Comics, has a green glow around it. But then Gambit's kind of signature color is that pink. It's the pink of his suit and the pink of his energy. And I'm like, I just think it would be cool to juxtapose, because those are contrasting colors. Those are complementary colors. And so I'm like, I just want to put that Agamotto green with that Gambit pink. And I thought about just having it be kind of pops of color within the image. And I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I want to bathe the cover in the Agamotto green because Gambit has been taken over by Agamotto. So this cover has been taken over by the energy of the Eye of Agamotto. But there are little hints of Gambit in there. There is that little hints of pink, and it pops because they're complementary colors. And so the themes of the story, which are Gambit being overtaken by the Eye of Agamotto, are being represented within the structure of the cover that I've created for him. And I just wanted to make a striking image that begs investigation. That someone's going to see this and go, what the fuck is going on here? And pick the comic up. Because that's my job. Ultimately, as I see it.
I tell you what, Gonzo, I saw this and I said, what the fuck is going on here? But I'm not going to pick up the comic and read it because that's just not going to fucking happen. Because I just don't, because you all know I don't fucking read. I remember the first, when I met Albert, I remember Albert, Joey was like, Caesar doesn't read comics. I think Albert stared at me for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, rightfully so.
He stared at me for about 30 minutes, and then he says, you don't read a fucking comic? I'm like, no, man, it is what it is. But I got to tell you, Gonzo, whether you did it or not do it, you could put this guy in a zoot suit, and he looks Chicano.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's always going to be a Chicano undertone to almost everything that I do. It's not just the color sensibility.
I was going to say, it's definitely your colors, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of, I feel like that's what people hire me for, because I did my bright-ass La Mano del Destino cover because I wanted to celebrate Chicano culture. And so now when people ask me to do stuff, well, all they've ever seen is me doing this sort of thing. And so this piece right here that you have up is the first time I did the thing that I'm known for, which is doing calaveras for everybody. I had never done a calavera of my own character. And so I did this as a print that we're doing. So if you're going to San Diego, I've got a Hispanic comics creators panel on Saturday with Jorge Gutierrez and Melissa Flores. and Martin, forget his last name, but we're gonna if you go to that panel, you get a free comic-sized print of this, and then after that panel, we're gonna do a signing. So if you want to get it signed afterward, come find me. And I also have 11 by 17s of this for sale at that table when we do the signing afterward and stuff. So yes, this is the first time I've ever done my thing to my character. Is this print right here?
Well, I gotta tell you, hey Mark. So I know that Mark has to drop. So I know he wanted to say goodbye first before he drops. Mark, what do you want to say to these fine gentlemen?
Well, I mean, I know Gonzo, so it's always great to to talk to
You're gonna be in
Gonzo.
San Diego or no?
Yes.
I'll see you there, man. I'll see you tomorrow, probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then for David and Albert, I do a show here in Albuquerque. If you're ever interested in coming out, more than happy to have you.
Definitely.
We started extremely small. We've kind of grown each year. Next year we'll be like in a bigger venue one more time. So if you guys are ever interested in, you want to come out, let me know. More than happy to give you a table.
Thanks, man.
We bring in people of all levels. So try to make it, so everybody can network, everybody can, learn from each other. I know Gonzo was a big draw this year, so.
Yeah, it's a great show. You get to my recommend. Definitely, if you guys can make it. Yeah.
I mean, and Mark knows me. I mean, come on. If you guys want a table, I know a guy. All right, over here in Albuquerque, it's perfectly fine.
All
right.
Yeah.
Cool.
No. Thanks for coming on the show, you guys. It's always great to hear people's stories and where they came from and what your drive is. So. Best of luck to all of you. Gonzo, I'll see you soon. Hopefully I'll see you other guys at some point.
I'll see you later, brother. Thank you so much.
Man. Have a good night, guys.
Hey, Mark. See you, man.
Thanks, Ben.
See you, Mark. Thanks for popping it, Bill. All right. So let's there's one more thing. Gonzo, do you worry about being held into only being asked to do the one style, or do you prefer that?
I don't, man, when I'm drawing a calavera and because I work 2 up, so I'm working on 18 by 24s and I'm working, twice the size of a comic. So pretty big, like the image areas are like 13 3/4 by 21.5. And I'm drawing all that ornamentation that goes on like a calavera. And I do everything by hand I could easily do half of them and then mirror it because a lot of them have that bilateral symmetry, but I can't do that. I want to do everything by hand. So when I'm in the middle of doing all of that ornamentation and my hands are hurting and stuff, I'm like, fucking who decided this was my thing? And I'm like, oh yeah, I did. It can be a little bit of a bummer, like how detailed and how like much work they can be, but I always love how they turn out. So I don't mind doing them. I do like that Marvel and IDW have, like the Star Trek covers and the X-Men cover and the Spider-Man cover I just did recently for Marvel. Those all aren't calaveras, and I like that I have earned enough trust with those companies just to do other things. Like that's 2 Star Trek covers that I just posted recently that are the 2 faces screaming with the space coming out of their mouth and stuff. Like they had come to me with another. This is a good example. This is what I love to do. IDW came to me. The editor there had a pretty specific idea of what she wanted. She gave me a description of what she wanted. It's like, hey, we kind of want this X, Y, and Z on the cover. But cool. And I drew that. I gave him a thumbnail of that. I do little 3x5 thumbnails. But then I thought, oh, there's a better way to exemplify the ethos of what you're trying to convey with this, close up with all but she's in space, but there's more space coming out of her. That kind of has the feeling that you're kind of trying to convey with this other thing you asked me to do. So I'll give them, I will give them a sketch. I gave them a thumbnail of that. I'm like, hey, here's what you asked for, but then here's me kind of synthesizing the spirit of what you were asking for in maybe a little more dynamic way. And I've done that with Marvel. I've done that with Dark Horse. I've done a bunch of different companies, and they have almost inevitably been like, oh, let's do that one. Like that one's much better than what we asked for. And that's kind of what I love most about doing. And so I don't always whip out a calavera as the solution of the problem. And then sometimes I am trying to navigate their request against what I think will work. And so I just want to do what works. But
Gonzo, the problem as I see it here is at some point you had to draw the whole face and then remove it to put the universe in the background, right?
I actually I drew here. All of that space is just black.
Is this what you were doing when I called you?
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, it was exactly. Yes.
Of your art.
So I did this in such a way, and I really lucked out here. So this one I actually worked because I knew it was going to be in pieces. I worked on 11 by 17 for this one so I could scan it all at once and I wasn't going to have to stitch it together so that I could register everything. What I did is I drew everything and I drew the black of the space coming out of her face as just black, and I scanned that in. Just the marks of that. Then I drew the rest of the face and painted all of that hair in and the black around her and her body, and I scanned that in, and I was able to line those up perfectly so that I had a perfect mask of where the space inside of her needed to be. Then I drew all of the space with like watercolor on watercolor paper to give it all that kind of nebula effect. Scanned that in separate and made a cool little space like effect. Then I'd use that as a mask to the space part that I had drawn earlier, and then I did all of the space behind her in the different color on another piece of paper. So that particular piece, rather than being on one big 11 by 7 or one big 18 by 24, is on an 11 by 17 and like 5 9 by 12s that I just did and then put together. But again, that's not my normal process. That's just what worked for that project.
Piece, yeah.
Like I'm always, for me, it's always about like what the piece needs to be and not what I want to foist my solution onto. Because I could have done a Day of the Dead Skull Star Trek thing and then be like, hey, that's what I do. I do Day of the Dead Skulls. But I do get a lot of people who kind of come at me sort of like obliquely where they're like, hey, we were hoping you could do a cover for, and I just kind of like, well, just straight up ask like, do you want me to do a Calavera? I'm like, yeah, we want a Calavera. Like, so a lot of people like do want the Calavera, and hey man, I'm totally down to do the Calavera. Marvel, IDW, some other companies have been good about just like, hey, whatever you feel is right. I've got some stuff I can't talk about from IDW. I've got, I think I have close to 20 covers coming out from IDW this year or over the next 12 months.
Jeez.
And one of them is a Calavera right now. There may be more. I've only done about 12 of them, so I've got about 8 more I need to do. And I think of those 8, I don't think any of those are going to be Calaveras. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 2 of them are Calaveras. They have released the Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees cover that I did that it was a Calavera. And there's one more they're going to announce soon, maybe even at San Diego. That's a Calavera. But the rest of the... Hold on, I'm trying to think. There's 10 plus 6 plus 6 is 22.
The mind of Gonzo. I have a feeling that's how your mind is all the time, Gonzo.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just,
man.
It's just
well, I mean,
it's
like
everywhere.
I've said this before is like, what I am paid for as an artist is not my draftsmanship or my technical abilities. What I'm paid for is my synthesis. It's my point of view. It's how I connect the dots. Because there are people who I'm not so good a draftsman that I can't love what I make, and in order for me to love what I make, I have to be solving the problem of how does this work within the overall selling the comic, the idea of the comic, because that's ultimately what a cover should do. Yeah, these are the Dork 6 retailer exclusives that I did for Presto's Comics. Presto's and I have been doing. God, we've probably done a dozen comic covers right now. I've done. Of the first 8 Dorks, I think I've done 6 of them. Yeah. Like I've missed a couple here or there. I did Dork 1, I did 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing 7, and I'm doing 8 like right now. So, but yeah, those have been great. And it's cool. It's like I've known Brett like for a while, and so like being able to like when this came out, like there was no reference image, and so I just messaged him like, hey man, like you got any good ref on this witch character on issue 6? And he's like, here.
You don't color these yourself though, do you?
No, I do. I do everything.
You do the colors too?
Yeah, I do everything. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he chops down the trees and fucking everything.
That show, man.
That cover is popping.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Again, I wanted something that like worked, and so she is like this icy blue, and so I wanted that pink to kind of like pop off of her icy blueness.
Wow.
And so yeah, it's like those are all decisions that kind of just my job is to make a dynamic, compelling cover, something that makes someone want to pick it up and go, oh, what is this? Or in the case of these retailer exclusives, is making someone just want to buy what they see. Like that's cool. I want to own it. And so I put a lot of my kind of like Chicano color theory just into that work, and that's ultimately what I was doing when I started my own comic, La Mano del Destino, was I wanted to make a love letter to my Chicano culture, right? Because every time I was sick and tired of like dusty brown portrayals of my culture in pop culture, And I wanted something bright and vibrant and dynamic, and so I did La Mano with like these bright, bright, vibrant colors to like reflect the dynamism of the lucha libre that was within the comic. And ultimately, that's what got me work, as I was just working on that for a decade, and toward the end of it, the Turtle, the editor of the Turtle saw it and was like, "Hey man, can you do a Turtle cover for me?" And I realized like this guy's the only work of mine he's ever seen is like La Mano. So I should do something as Chicano. I should do something as bright and vibrant and dynamic. So I did the calaveras of the turtles. I just saw Peter had left a message that he finally got that Raphael. I got to say, congratulations, Peter. That's the hardest one to find. So fucking yeah. But
Peter, you're right on the money, man. They pop, absolutely pop.
Yeah, so yeah. I just once I started doing it, it's like now I can't not, even when I do like the Gambit cover, is like if I did something that was like all that didn't have that kind of energy to it, it's like, is that I don't know that like that's just not in me. Like, that's just not what I want. I mean, I guess if I saw something like that really needed to be like muted or dull or something, like I would do that, but like I just don't operate that way. Like I always find a way to like, there's always some way to make it dynamic, right? Because I think ultimately that's what a cover should be.
I'm gonna go back to if you're gonna be an artist, to find that support, marry that support. I'm gonna say marry. Don't even have a girlfriend. Marry that support, because a girlfriend's like, they lock that shit down, because a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, is not gonna be dealing with. Hold on, it's just gonna take me an hour. Yeah. Right. David works his ass off, and as he said, he puts in 77 hours, and then he goes and he draws for another 77, and he sleeps like a fish with his eyes open and his hands still draws.
I don't know how he does it.
No,
you have kids too, David?
No children. That's the reason why I can do it. So I mean, it's
now I understand how he.
I'm the other side of that. I still got the small ones, so I'm like, bro, I gotta take a nap.
Yeah. No, I'm grateful to be able to still have the energy to do it. But I just, like I was telling you earlier, I have to, that motivation, that drive, that keep you going kind of mentality is never unappreciated with the hours. And I love working at night. I don't know why. The phone stays quiet. As long as my wife is safe and asleep, that means I get to work. Get to draw and have fun and take care of things that need to be taken care of, and I just need a couple hours and I'll rebound.
I like the early part, man.
Do it now, David, because once you get to a certain age, that won't be kicking in as much.
No.
I mean,
no.
I'm getting up there. Doesn't help.
4.
You have 3 kids.
I got
4
4
kids.
but I got 4. Yeah, I just like a true Mexican. I stay busy. But
this is a Latino podcast. Yeah.
But 2 of them live on their own now, and then but I still have the 2 small ones, and
now I get why you locked yourself in a jail cell for this.
Yeah, bro. Jailer already came by to make sure, Dad, do you need anything?
Some bread and water. That'll be great.
Yeah, right.
Let me ask you guys now, if you had a chance to go back and think, let's go back in the Wayback Machine, right? If you could go back and pull one of your pieces of art because for a fact you could have done better, or for a fact you would have changed something that would have changed it, what is that one piece that you're like, oh man, if I just had 2 more days or 3 more days, what's that one piece that you would have said, if you go back in the time machine and you told the person, give me X amount of time and I will give you that product, just the way I have it in my mind?
Yeah, I don't do that, man. I make the time. I mean, much like David, like I'll stay up till the sun rises if it means, getting it to at least decent. There's nothing. I mean, listen, as an artist, the best advice I got when I was at the High School of the Arts is this teacher. I was like looking at some piece I had just done and lamenting the little things I would have done differently. He's like, look, this teacher told me you're gonna love everything you do for 15 minutes, and then all you're gonna see is the mistakes. And if you can't live with that, you can't be an artist. And so I just lived with it. It's like, you let it go. It's a representation of where you were in your time constraints then, and you just have to go. But I have shit-canned entire days worth of work because I had a better idea, or I knew I could fix it, or I knew I could do it better. And I have pushed some things where I'm like, hey, Like, man, if you give me one more day, I can get you this. And honestly, man, here's how comics work, especially when you look at editors. They're asking for it maybe even at least a couple of days before they actually know it is due, because they know you're going to be late. There are so many like little deadlines of like, well, we want to be able to proof it. We want to be able to, make sure blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, I'm a goddamn professional graphic designer for the past 30 years. I'll make sure it's pre-pressed in such a way that your fucking designer doesn't even need to look at it. I get that time. Now that time is me to make it look good. There's no, I'm going to hand letter it myself. You don't need to hand it to your letterer. That's my time now. And so when someone gives you when I get a date from an editor, I'm being managed, I'm being handled, and they're building in a buffer zone. So if I know I need to put in more time, I will just email or call and be like, hey man,
I need more
4
time.
more days, and this will be great. What is your drop dead needs to be in your fucking sometimes they need to get it to licensors and yada yada. I'm like, listen, you need to get to licensor, I'll send you the inks. You show the inks to the licensor while I'm making sure the color's sync. Whatever it is, and I can usually eke out more time if I need it, or I'll just fucking not sleep and watch the sunrise while I'm doing little half moon circles on a Moon Knight cover that I did. Like all of it. Like, yeah. So sorry, man. I don't regret anything I've done other than like the lack of sleep that happened.
All right, David. What about you?
There's, like I was telling you earlier, it's every piece that I've worked on. I can honestly say that there's something in each and every one of them that I look back at now, and you can tell the progression. You can see the progression. From somebody that had nothing to do with comic books, didn't go to school for art or anything of that nature. It was every piece that I look at now that I've done, I can always grab something from each and every one of them that really just, I wish I would have had a couple more hours maybe. But I met Scott Hanna. We booth next to each other at one show, and we spent an entire weekend just talking about the same thing, about deadlines, and because it was Achilles' heel of mine for a while, and it was something that I was still very much learning how to manage my time. And he would always, in that weekend of discussion, bring up finding tricks, finding ways, finding solutions, finding, this is a puzzle, you're trying to put it together. You get the background done, then look at what you got left. If you have to worry about the background up front, and you get that out of the way, you're going to feel so much more mentally prepared to focus on the character, because you feel like you have less to work on or less real estate to cover now that you got this huge background done. And just trying to implement that in what I've been working on, and finding these ways of having like personal competitions with myself. Okay, so it's Thursday, I'm working on this piece, I got to get this corner, and that head done. And then tomorrow we're going to do this side, bottom right, and bottom middle. And then we got to start the center, left, bottom left.
Small chunks.
This is the coordinator coming out in you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a puzzle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you have a problem. Each piece is a problem. You got to find the solution to it. And the solution for me was just staying mentally focused and finding ways to achieve that daily goal. And if I couldn't do that, then I'd feel like crap the next day. When you're sitting, I've fallen asleep under my table. If you ask my wife, she'll tell you that she's walked in and I'm on the ground face first, and I'm just beat, and so I can honestly say every piece that you've seen that I've done, even to a commission standpoint, there's a day or there's an hour or there's a minute, a second that I wish I could just go back and add on to that timeline or that time.
It's never finished for you,
and it never will be.
It never will be. That's the motto I'm going to make on my shirt. It's never finished. It never will be. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put that on my tombstone. Albert, what about you?
So for me, I'm never satisfied with any of my work. I really not. I think I have a rawness to my style as far as like you all heard the John Romita Jr. under Deadline. That's my style. I'm never happy with any of it. I think that's another reason personally in the timeline that we're in right now in live time. I've kind of expressed this to my wife of like, I do so many things. I keep my 9 to 5 with U-Haul's corporate office. I run a shop on the weekend. Got to play dad during the week, and then draw the comics or draw whatever project I'm working on at the time. And not really, I feel like I'm cheating myself a lot of times and cheating my art, which is another reason in live time that I am not going to San Diego Comic-Con to focus more and just put a little bit more into myself of what I want in my work. Along with, pulling back on some of the other stuff. Like I'm no longer running the shop now. I'll walk in there from time to time when I want to, but I don't have to do that anymore. I've pulled back and scaled back in certain areas just to dedicate more time to what I want to see on the page and give myself that extra hour, 2 hours, day, 2 days, whatever it is, to really put out what I want to put out. So in that way, I'm being very selfish with my time, which, funny enough, again, going back to Bitch Press and Barbara Hughes, I ran into her recently and told her some of the stuff I was going through. And she's like, dude, we lost Steven. She's from Boston. She's like, we lost Steven at 48. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, well, that's how old I am now. She's like, you got to be fucking selfish, And I'm like, yeah, I know. So, I took that to heart and really kind of just was already doing it, but hearing it again was just for me, just that backup that I needed to hear. But to do a power bomb, if I had to pick one, do a power bomb was one that was like, you know what, I could have done better on that cover, just because the retailer I was working with asked me to do something like, they had an idea for the book. I'm like, okay. And I tried to meet that demand, and they're like, can we have something more stoic? And I'm like, define stoic for you. They all have their own definitions. And they're like, so maybe something like The Rock or like this or that. And I'm like, okay. So I did the Randy Orton pose, which worked out just fine, but it wasn't fine enough for me. I think there was some other things that I could have added to that. And if anything, I could have just done what I really wanted to do. Gonzo and myself were both fans of wrestling and Lucha Libre. David, Dan, Caesar, I don't know if you are too, but it's. I could have done more with that cover, I think. Given if I think maybe I probably spoke up a little bit more, rather than just trying to please the client.
Kind of feel it in your chest a little bit that. I don't know how to explain it. It's there, and it just it almost makes you emotional sometimes when you're trying to like, man,
Yeah, it was funny because
it's hard to say no to stuff, right? When you're like,
right.
Or at least put your foot. Like I really just recently, like we're talking like months ago, just got to a point where I felt comfortable when someone like came at me and just had some like they're like, we want you to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, I don't know if that sounds like me, man. Maybe you'd hire someone else. And then they'll be like, no, you just do what you do. You're like, sorry, we didn't mean to, and I did the same thing, recently where they're like, they took, the Galaveras that I did, and they wanted me to basically, rather than do like Mexican folk art that was emblematic of a comic character, they wanted me to just take their comic character and kind of like throw some Mexican folky shit on it, kind of brown wash their bullshit. And I called them on it. I'm like, hey man, like, I don't really do that. I do this. And if you want me to do that other thing, then we need to talk about me not doing this. Yeah. And they're like, no, you do your thing. And I'm like, okay,
yeah.
Well, that's what happened with Fairyland. Fairyland, they turned around and they're like I did issue 1 or no, issue 2, and then they were like, let's do this, let's do that. I was like, nah, I'm gonna do this. And they're like, I go, just send it through. Like I kind of just cut off the sentence. I go, just send it through. They sent it. They got the approval really quick. They're like, dude, that is the fastest I've ever seen an approval come through. And it's like, just let me just work, okay?
When you love something into existence, you can feel it. Like you can't articulate it, but like people can feel something that's been loved into existence, and they can also feel something that was hate fucked into existence, and they just like, no, I don't want any part of that. And so I'm constantly, I think all of us are constantly trying to like negotiate with our clients and be like, hey man, don't make me hate fuck this into existence.
I had to murder somebody. Look where I'm at now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's see the truth came out. Let me ask you guys something now. This is I'm going to give you guys a scenario.
Oh, geez.
And Albert knows where I'm coming here. I'm going to give you guys a scenario. I'm not going to mention any names. We could talk about this in the green room after the show. Then we'll give you names. But what would you do? Let's say David and Gonzo and Albert.
That guy knows what I'm talking about. Hey.
Does Gonzo know this?
No,
man.
Just how you stated. Yeah. It's
okay. So okay, let's say you guys did a cover art of a certain character that a big artist drew. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's just say you did your version of a cover art of this major character, and you're at a con, and you want the actual, the original artist to sign the work you did of that piece, and they in turn told you, yeah, sorry, I won't sign that.
That's all.
Because
that's a fair decision. Like, I can't make someone, like what I do. So I just talked to Brett Bean yesterday and was like, hey man, I was hoping I could get you to sign my cover of Dork #1. And he's like, absolutely, no problem. So he was fine with it. But like, if I'm trying to think who else. Yeah, like I understand, whatever hangups they have. So my first Marvel gig, I did a Ghost Rider, the Latino one, the LA one. Fuck, I can't think of his actual name. Robbie, right? And Robbie Reyes. So I did a Robbie Reyes Day of the Dead Ghost Rider cover. I know Felipe, the guy who created him, and I was like, originally I was gonna text him and be like, hey man, I'm doing like my first Marvel gig is your character. Then I realized, I'm like, I don't know, like I know he doesn't work for Marvel really anymore. I'm like, fuck, I don't know how they split up. You know what I mean? So like that might be like a sore point where like Felipe might be pissed that Marvel is continuing to create this character when he didn't get money for the TV show, whatever the fuck it was, right? So I just like, I'll wait until it's out in the world and I'll see how Felipe reacts to it. Turns out he wrote one of the stories in that book. I didn't know that. They gave me that information. But once we were on the same email chain about it, I was like, hey, Felipe, fuck, your character was cool. But like, if I had gone to Felipe and been like, hey man, can you sign this? And he'd been like, dude, Marvel fucking screwed me out of money on that character. I'm never signing fucking Ghost Rider show. Like, I totally would understand that too. Everyone's got a whole world of reasons why they may or may not want it to be signed, right? So right now, this is a situation. There is I do these little doodle sketches like to kind of warm up in the morning. And I sell them. It's whatever. They're like really cartoony UPA style illustrations, right? I did one of a famously hated piece of artwork. And the guy who bought it was like, hey man, I'm going to buy this and I want the guy who did the hated piece of artwork to sign it. I don't know if that guy's got a sense of humor about it. And it's like, yeah, that's a piece that people make fun of me for. Like, I'll sign it for you. Or if he's going to be like, fuck that guy. He's making fun of me by doing this. So I don't know how it's going to go down. The guy who bought it is going to facilitate that. So I'll know in a couple of days how that goes down. But I could easily see that guy being like, this is a piss take. This is someone making fun of me. I'm not going to fucking do this. And listen, if someone did a version of my character, La Mano del Destino, and brought it to me, and it was in some way, shape, or form antithetical to the ethos that I used to create it, I might not say, hey man, I'm not touching that. You know what I mean? Like, so I can understand a myriad reasons why someone wouldn't want to sign it. And there's stuff that I would love to have signed, like, but if they're like, oh, that's $100 to sign it, like, nah, I'm not gonna fuck it. Like, I thought it was more like, hey, I got to draw your character, you sign it for me. Or if they're just straight up like, no, I don't fucking do that. I'm like, okay, fine. Like, that's totally their prerogative. I have no issue with it. Everyone's got their own fucking story going on in their head. I'm fucking too old to like investigate. I'm not gonna talk him into it, and nor do I even need to hear the fucking reason. Yeah.
So, David, you wouldn't care, right? I guess, or would you? Would you be like, well, shit, dude? I mean, you would think you would be kind of like, hey, I'm flattered that you actually.
I mean, do
drew
you
this
really say
badass-
you wouldn't care though? In the moment when you're there and they're refusing you for any valid reason, there's gonna be a piece of you that cares because you're right there in the moment, in the line with the artist. Like, I think I would probably have a
Dude,
be a
I had
little
a
offended.
I had a creator writer who had worked on see if I can be vague about this. This person had created a property that lived in a different kind of media.
If you can't be vague, Guns, it would be completely super specific.
And so, I mean, fuck, maybe I am specific. Maybe I just say fuck her. Anyway, doesn't matter. I had done a small amount of work for that project, and I was trying to get everyone involved to sign my cover. And I got next to the person who created it, and I was like, "Hey, can I get your signature?" And she literally pretended like I was like 2 feet from her. She pretended she couldn't hear me, and she couldn't. She just did this kind of like looked into the distance, and I was like, "Okay, like I got it. Like I got it. Like, hey, you don't want to be fucking bothered right now. Like you're too big time. Fucking have at it. You go be big time over there. I'm gonna go the other way. I mean, I understood the message, but like again, I don't know. She could have.
Don't give us the name. Just rhyme it with something.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do it, man. But like, but I got the fucking coldest of shoulders from someone I thought that I had made a contribution to their project, and she had no fucking regard for me, and I just was like, hey, could you? And when she pretended to not even hear me, it was like, gotcha. Message received. I'm gonna go this way, and that was it, man. Yeah, like wow. I wasn't like I don't really. I'm not like fuck that bitch. I'm not like I have no real ill will toward her. She she viewed me as beneath her. Let me know that very clearly, and I was like, fine. I don't need that shit.
David, did it happen to you? Would you just power bomb them right through that chair, right through the table?
John Cena song comes on.
And I don't know if this kind of adds on to that or if it's the same thing, but I mean, I remember doing a cover for a project. And I was given the opportunity to do like a cover C, and it was going to be, every store, things like that. And I did the cover, and I guess the creator didn't like the work I did because it didn't tell me about it. And then there was had someone else do the artwork, right? Which is totally fine. And then I guess there was a delay or there was timeline constraints or what, but my name was associated with that person's artwork. And whenever it went to sale, when you're ordering cover C, you're ordering David Sanchez, but it's not work. And I kid you not, I get people that would bring that book to me, and I felt so bad for the artist that did do the artwork because they deserve the credit. It was a beautiful piece.
Oh, gotcha.
And they want me to sign it, and I'm like, you know what? I can't do that. I appreciate it. It's not my artwork. I apologize. And it happened just recently at the show I just was at this weekend, and I was like, guys, I can't sign it, man. And they're like, well, just put not my artwork and just sign it. I'm like, okay, I will do that. That seems appropriate. But
just write a quick paragraph explaining on the cover why this isn't your artwork.
What happened? Right.
And I'm just like, in that scenario, I felt like the artist that
the
did
disclaimer remark.
Yeah, I mean, it's they deserve all the credit in the world with that cover. It turned out beautifully. I understand why they went that direction. Again, every cover is an opportunity to learn something. So I realized my mistake, my misunderstanding.
I can't imagine the feedback that they made him go in a different direction. Like, what were they, David? This is a little too realistic. Sorry, this is a little too good.
And rightfully, they have the right to have that vision be just put on display however they want it. I guess I just wasn't the person for it, and I'm grateful for that opportunity, regardless of how it turned out. I mean, it was unfortunate, but the one thing that bothered me the most was that person that spent that time, that artist that did that artwork, didn't get the recognition that they deserved, I feel. And they might have on the back end, behind the scenes, however you want to look at it. But from my standpoint, when you buy or get that art and you scan it and it'll bring my name up, and I just feel horrible every time somebody brings that book up. I never will turn. I'll sign for free. I don't care whatever it is that they bring up for me to sign that I've done. But with that one, I generally don't like.
Does that particular artist have like an Instagram themselves?
I believe so. And
would a kosher thing be to do just like, it's not my artwork, but I'll sign it with his Instagram handle on it. You go check out his artwork.
I should have in the moment.
Give him the credit, right? Give him the credit, right?
In that moment,
That's
in that way, like it's hard to in the moment, like really pull that name out because it's been so many years.
What's up, Joey?
It's
so.
I got a question for Albert. This has been it's such a dumb question, so Albert, forgive me. Where did Angry Rooster come from?
My wife, actually. I was very cheap and did not want to get my haircut and pay like $40 for a freaking haircut. So I just decided to give myself a mohawk and just showed up. My wife showed up one day and I didn't have any product in my hair and I rocked it for a little while. And I don't have a head for a mohawk. So let's just be honest, some guys can pull that shit off, but I mean, maybe I can to some extent, but not a lot. So she comes home and I answer the door and no products in my hair. She's like, "You look like an angry rooster." I was like, there it is. So, yeah.
There it is.
Wow.
And it doesn't help that I'm just like a chicken hawk and I'm just like walking around so short, little Mexican kid, just like resting bitch face all over all the time. It's just a son of a bitch.
Well, Angry Rooster is nicer than what my wife calls me when I answer the fucking door. Everybody knows. Everybody knows Joey. Albert met Joey with myself over there at Old Man Con, and Gonzo knows Joey because he bought a pretty big OA piece. From him at this show in April. So people coming out of the woodworks.
Too, he made my day. I was so fucking out of it. I was just like, I was so head down. Yeah, fuck. He saw me at my work. So yeah, sorry we didn't talk.
It's no joke. You two, Albert and David, Mark, who was here. He runs a really good show. Gonzo was there this year, and his tables are. I mean, it's now it's a bigger venue. So if you guys really are interested in coming up, we're not that far, right? We're here in New Mexico, so it's only a hop, skip, and a jump away. Come on down. He has a show coming up in April of next year. Okay. And he's snatching up people. I mean, last year we had Brett Booth was at the show. And this is a guy who hardly comes out for anything, and he had a fantastic time.
Yeah,
I mean, we had a drink and draw after, and we're thinking he's just going to stay for. Apparently, he stayed all.
He was there the whole time.
He was there the whole time. He was having a blast. So there it is. So I know we're winding down. I told you guys, you, Albert, I said, hey, it's 2-hour show, and David knows what's going on. It's just it, and I didn't even touch half of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. I mean, but I do want to touch a bit of this. What are your thoughts of what's going on with pricing with the autographs? What are your?
You know what, Caesar? I got you right here. I think it's bullshit. Okay. I don't charge for signatures. I never will. That's as simple as I can be. Listen, I can't. It's hard to make money as an artist. I get that, but I don't need to squeeze every penny out of the money that's swirling around. And I see when you're a comic artist and you're at a comic show, there's all of this commerce going around that is around the things that you make that don't necessarily flow to you. So to want to extract some money from that, I get that compulsion, but I don't think that's my money. If someone comes to me with a stack of 30 books, I know that's not there for their personal collection. I know they're going to flip at least 29 of those. I am still going to sign all 30 of them for free because I think charging for me to take a second to put my fucking squiggle on something is bullshit. And I don't want to have to police a line and wonder who's a real fan versus who's a flipper. I don't want to have to make some draconian process where someone who is a real fan now has to pay because other people are flipping it. So I think it's icky. And for me to feel completely pure,
I love you, man.
For me to feel pure about not participating in it, I have to have zero involvement. I can't have some threshold or some tiny amount or whatever. For me to be able to condemn the whole practice, I need to extricate $0 from it. And so I will. I don't take any money. I never will. If you have 100 books,
as a non-artist, as a fan,
Yep.
I'm okay paying signature. Like I'll pay a reasonable amount. But when I go to cons now and I'm dropping $1,000 for signatures, I'm not getting books, I'm not getting art. I'm literally I'm expecting.
But what is a reasonable amount? Like, you know what a reasonable amount
icky.
is $0 fucking dollars, man. Like there is no like that right there. Negotiating out that threshold of like what's acceptable, not acceptable. You know what's totally acceptable? $0. Now I might have to. Like,
Caesar brought this up.
I might have to put a limit on how many you can do at once because I have a line. So if you have 100 books, I'm going to sign 10. Wow. You got to get back in line. And if you're committed to get in line 10 more times or 9 more times to get all of it, fucking God bless you.
He deserves all 100 signatures if he's going back in line.
If he bumps out after 20 times or 2 times, then that's fine. But like, listen, the kid behind him who's a real fan who has like 3 things,
the one book. He's like,
I don't want him to have to wait 20 minutes while I sign 100 fucking books. So listen, man, that guy can go back in line. Like I might put limits on it. Like, listen, I worked for Todd McFarlane for years. That guy doesn't charge for signatures, and if fucking Todd doesn't charge, then I don't charge. You know what I mean? Like I have no fucking right because I'm not Todd.
He charges now. He's charging now. I'll tell you that. With the stuff that
I've said often, like I don't need to get rich making comics. I would like to stop growing broke though, but I'm not broke anymore. So I like listen. If someone buys a sketch from me and I'm like, hey, it's a $50 sketch, and then they flip that for $300, that $250 is their fucking money.
Yeah, when I go to
you got yours.
Yeah, I got what I thought was fair for it. So yeah.
If they're not charging for the SIG, I'll still leave money there and be like, listen, it's not.
I will sometimes have a Hero Initiative jar, and if someone was expecting me to pay, I'll be like, hey, just donate to Hero Initiative if you were expecting to pay. And also, I've had people just straight up tip me. I'm like, look, if you have some desire to hand me some amount of money because I signed 20 of your books, sure, you can tip me. I will take that money, but I am not requiring money to sign a book, no matter the amount or what the fucking book is. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like if you have a book number 1 that you get a CGC witness there for, because I know you're going to get it graded.
Oh, you pay the CGC tax. Yeah, it's like
I don't even fucking care. Even if it's a CGC, like I've had CGC come ask me how much I charge for signatures. I'm like, I'll never charge for signatures. And they've tried to argue with me that you have to charge. I'm like, I don't have to do fucking shit. I'm a fucking comic artist. I became an artist, so I didn't have to listen to rules, man. I don't.
David, what about you, David?
Well,
you're passionate.
From my entry into the community or in the industry, it was always, you're already buying the print, you're already buying the book, you can sign it for free. I'm not saying that I haven't charged for a signature before in the past, but I don't go out of my way of, $5, $10 extra, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
If you want to put money on the table as a tip, that's fine. I'm not gonna. I'm like, no, you don't have to. Don't worry. But if you insist, then yeah, that means I can go buy, soda or something. But it's I'm grateful either which way. But I'm not. I will say when I started initially 6-7 years ago, no, it would not. I felt like it was. You're already spending the money on that. It takes me 2 seconds to scribble, and I keep that same mentality as I go. But I have partnered up with facilitators and retailers that do ask for that for their need, and I understand that, and it's a part of the process. And I'm again, I keep going back to the opportunity. I have the opportunity. I'm grateful for that. If that's going to help them, if they need to charge at $5-10, that's their business. But am I, if you bring a stack of books to me, like what Gonzo was saying, it takes me a couple seconds to put my signature on there. I'm not gonna break your hand over $10, or $5. Now, I don't know truly. I've never seen what my stuff goes for outside of when it's left my possession. I know the Tupac book from a long time ago did really well, and it still continues to do well. But I've been told too from facilitators, from retailers, you need to charge something for your stuff. Friends in the industry, you need to charge something for your signature. I don't know. I don't know why in the moment I do feel kind of weird about it. Because who gives a shit? It's a couple scribbles. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm happy to do it. And it's cool. But no, I'm not going to say that I'm a saint and never charge.
There's nothing wrong with money, nor is there for a small fee. But $60 a sig is is
No,
getting
if you go that far, I mean, I don't think I've ever gone past $10, honestly.
Oh, I definitely have.
I will. Before I go to Albert, I will say that when I met David, he picked me up by my ankles and he fucking shook me until everything came
out of your pocket.
Everything. My watch, my wallet, my everything. Albert, what about you?
Leaking on yourself still?
I typically don't charge for signatures. I think every once in a blue moon you'll catch me doing it, and it's no more than $5. When you're doing whatnots and stuff like that, they tend to like, hey, we need to charge this much for a raw book or a virgin book, and then they'll charge a different price for your signature signed it and stuff like that. But if you're in front of me, like at a show or something like that, I'll just sign it. I think there is one book going back to that, when we were talking about artists signing stuff. I think there is one book that I initially started charging for because the wound was still fresh, as far as like the partners that I worked with on the book was just like the creative partners. I was like, it just didn't end in the best way. And then to get that book put in front of me, because I didn't actually get to finish it, they kind of said, okay, we're going to go a different way with like 3 pages left to do it. And I'm like, really? So it left a bad taste in my mouth. So I did charge for that book initially at one point, and then I think at some point I just stopped charging for that signature. But again, it was no more than $5, and it was more towards because I didn't have any of the books; they were coming from someplace else, and they were like, "Oh, hey, will you sign this?" I'm like, and then that particular creative team would come over and pay me for the signatures or whatever. Like, okay, hey, can you sign these? So it all depends on the situation, but typically I don't really charge for six. I figure if you're paying that much for exclusives already, the signatures in there are free, man.
Well, listen, kudos to all of you guys, because I charge about $750 for my fucking signature. As a matter of fact, I tell you what, Albert. As a matter of fact, when I signed the check at a restaurant, I charged the waitress $5 for my fucking signature. Just to throw that out there.
$5 on the tip for
-5 more signature.
Yeah.
I should do that.
Exactly.
My favorite thing to do is when I'm in a line of like creators doing a signing like on a group project, there'll be like 4 or 5 of us in a row, and the 3 people ahead of me are like, "Oh, I'm $5, I'm $10," and then someone will come up to me and be like, "Oh, how much do you charge?" I'm like, "Nothing. I think it's bullshit to charge your signature." Like, I just say it down the line to the people who don't charge your signatures, and I have on occasion, like twice, those other people ahead of me stopped charging for signatures because I knew I was going to be free and that I was going to call them out for having done it. So, yeah,
put the last guy in the line over there.
But I understand. Look, man, it's hard to make money. Listen, if I'm I don't know, like if I'm a writer, like I can't sell sketches, like I can't like write something.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Some writers sell remarks.
Oh,
some famous writers sell remarks.
Look, there are a
Dan
lot
will
of
show you in the background.
There are a lot of ways to make money at a con for an artist, right? Like, and it's hard to make money as an artist. And I see a lot of practices happening at a lot of booths, and I'm not going to besmirch anyone their right to do what the market will allow. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of things that I think are icky, that I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. There are ways for me to make more money than I currently am making in comics. But I'm a fucking comic fan, and I know what it's like to be ripped off by other creators or feel like I'm being taken advantage of to enjoy the things I want to enjoy. And everyone I've ever really loved as a creator has been totally cool to their fans, and they've respected that, and they've made sure that things like signatures are free, that they're not being exploitative in their business practices just because they make something that's desirable. They want to get their shit out to the most amount of people possible. I want to get my shit out to the most amount of people possible. Mm-hmm. And I don't want my signature fee or whatever money. I don't want money to be the barrier. I would rather make that up in quantity and have more people enjoying it than have 5 people that I know I can charge $100 for a signature for, because that's bullshit money. You know what I mean? Like, and that's going to go away. I'd rather have a broader fan base and be cool to the people who pay my fucking bills. They bought my comic book already. That pays my fucking bills. As a thank you for that support, I'm going to sign your fucking book, even if you're a retailer, even if you're a retailer with 30 books.
You,
those 30 books you bought, pay my
Gonzo,
bill.
I love you. You're not. I'm telling you, you're not going to be making some friends with some of your opinion, and I love it.
I mean, I get it, man. And listen, I've had straight up yelling arguments with other creators at conventions about this, and they're not going to change my mind. So, like, yeah.
So I got a question. Have you? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Because this actually happened recently. Have either one of you guys ever gotten mistaken for somebody?
No.
Oh, I did all the time. Brad Pitt.
Really?
Fucking all the time.
So I've gotten mistaken for Rags Morales.
For Rags Morales.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, can you sign our book?" And I was like, "I'm like, yeah, sure." And they give it to me.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not that Morales guy. I'm sorry about that." He's like, "Aren't you Rags?" I was like, "No, brother, I'm sorry." I go, "But there's one more Morales. I can't think of it.
Yeah.
But I think he's an inker, Martin Morales, right?" And then so he was there, and I was like, "That guy's over there, though." And he's like, "Oh, okay, thank you." I was like, "Yeah, no problem, dude. Sorry about that." And then most recently, I was at an original art fest show that came through town, Anthony's Collectibles. Love those guys. I was there, and somebody comes through, and they're like, "Hey." I go, "Oh, hey, what's up, dude?" And he goes, "Oh, hey, what's up, Gonzo?" I'm like,
really? Now that's a far fetch.
and I kind of looked up. I was like, "No, Albert." And he goes, "Oh shit." And he's like,
and you already signed his books. He's like, "Oh,
no." He what's your last name? I go, Morales. And he's like, "I'm the other Mexican." And he's like, "Oh shit!" Like you just feel him getting hot under the collar. And then somebody behind him is like, "Don't let him get away with that, Albert." I'm like, "Oh my god, don't make it worse." I was like, "Nah." I go, Gonzo's probably in his studio right now." Like,
You would think you would think you not wearing his glasses would probably, I don't know.
That's what the branding is for, man. Is make sure no one can mistake me. Yeah.
Right, no one can mistake you.
I do love the glasses, Gonzo. You look good.
Usually, I have
so
glasses on, so yeah.
So we're getting close to that show. So let's go ahead. What I'm going to do is showcase each one of your guys. Let's go with Gonzo because it's right in front of me. Gonzo's work. If you don't know, go check him out. I'm going to give you guys each time to pimp your wares after I go through these. But I just want to pimp these fantastic. What Gonzo I think is starting to get known for, obviously not just the Calaveras, but his color scheme is just. And I will quote my sister. It is Gonzo, absolutely beautiful. Yeah. It is Gonzo. Yeah, you can tell Gonzo piece by it's a Gonzo piece. Mm-hmm. Then we have ourselves Mr. Albert Morales over here. This guy has.
Right? Is that where you're located?
Yeah. That's
when
right.
I get out.
Oh, you son of a bitch! Come out here, man. I'll show you not a good time. So as you can see, Albert has his own style as well. Very kind of, I don't know. It's very animated. That's what it is. It's an animation type. I can see that being on an animation cell. You know, that's how good his stuff is. Obviously, he knows how to do his little cover art. Fantastic. Gives it some attitude. You got to go love. Some Albert some stuff.
Unbelievable.
Then we have Mr. Sanchez, who the fucker only sleeps 30 minutes a day, in case you guys are wondering, right? When you do art like this, I don't know how he does it. Personally, I think he has a pact with the Underlord because I don't know how because it's just crazy. David's gonna be so nice to give me a piece of this. He's gonna sign it. He's gonna charge me for his signature because he already talked about how he does that. And then this fantastic piece, which I saw that there was an OA of this, and it sold, right? Yeah, it sold.
Yeah,
right?
it sold. Oh. I wasn't even done with it, and I sold it. And so it was my buddy Hank out of New York. He's basically my curator, I guess at this point. He always grabs
he buys all your stuff.
Everything I do, and he's been such a good friend and big supporter of mine. He has my 16, and I figured, let's see if I put number one in in this collection.
Well, I tell you what, our friend here in the chat, Joey Solo, he's an OA collector. Just ask Gonzo, and he'll buy your stuff, man. Then we have throwing out because Mark left, but the cover Merciless is the absolute Batman homage by Alex Rigo, fantastic. And of course, did I already take it out? Oh, I took it off, but I had Raymond Gay's cover as well. Go support all that stuff. All right, so this is about the time of the show where we go around and let you guys support, find out where you're going, what con you're going next, and all that good stuff. But first, let's start with the guy who has the least to promote. There we go. Let's go with this guy right here. Yeah, that's right.
It's true.
It is true. Go ahead.
It is true. Guys, first of all, absolute pleasure. I just, what an honor to be here with you guys. I have such admiration and respect. You guys, the talent that you possess in your pinky finger, I don't have it in my whole body. So I'm in awe. But guys, if you don't find me here on the Real Dracula's Wolf podcast, you can find me on Instagram, Tree City Comics. I always look to try to grow my reach and try to grow my followers. And the feedback I got was, you shouldn't be following too many people, because the less people you follow, it makes you look more legitimate as your followers grow. And I thought to myself, well, that's not what I'm going for. Social media I want to connect with people. So I hope you guys connect with me out on Instagram, Tree City Comics. I'm always writing about the books I'm reading, the shows I'm watching, the toys I'm playing with, everything and anything, right? So please connect with me out there. Also, as part of the Comic Underground community, I can usually be seen out and about on Instagram in the Comic Underground. Just recently on Sunday, we had our See You Sunday segment where we talk about, the movies and different pop culture items and events that are affecting our hobby. So, again, you can find me one of two ways, but the biggest way always is Instagram, Tree City Comics. Love you all.
Sweet, man. Thanks.
All right. Yeah, no, Dan is all right. That's why he's my little habibi.
Right. You can stay.
He's like, yes, I did it. All right, Albert, you late son of a bitch. Go ahead.
You got me, bro.
You were the stereotype, man. I told Gonzo, go watch this guy. He's gonna be late. He's the Mexican.
Well, you said 9, so I was like picturing 9 o'clock. So I'm just lying back on my freaking couch watching in my cell, watching TV and wrestling, no less. And then I get a text from Gonzo. Hey, you on the podcast? Sure am. And then I was like, I looked down. I was like, I go, wait, let me go to my Instagram, and I see the link. I'm like, oh shit, they're on. So,
yep. So yeah, that's Mexican. Go ahead.
Straight up Mexican. My next show is going to be Tucson Comic Con, more than likely. I am currently just posting a couple of things on Instagram. Oh, this is the end of the show, huh? I've got some stuff coming out this weekend for Invincible. There's a nice little card set that they asked me to work on, so that was great. I'll be posting those up tomorrow on my Instagram, Angry Rooster Studios. And then just working on my projects. I'm actually clearing off my desk of commissions, but I've got a young adult fiction book that I'm working on as far as illustrations goes. But then I have my own personal projects that I'm working on. So look for those. I think when is Tucson Con? Is that Labor Day weekend?
Labor Day weekend, yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing there. I'll be there. So
all right.
Some
okay. Very good. Oh, well, thank you, sir. Let's go with Mr. David Sanchez. What do you got going on? Where are you going to be appearing and all that good stuff?
Well, I literally during this interview just got an email that I've been approved as a procreator for Fan Expo Dallas. So I will be my next show. I will be there. Unfortunately, I also in the same stream just got denied for New York Comic Con stuff.
Wow.
It's a nice balance. You're very Seinfeld. You lose one to get one.
Yeah.
That's right. You're even Steven.
There you go. There you go.
What I get, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to. I had an opportunity to go to San Diego, but I with everything going on, I wasn't able to make it. I'm not able to make it this year, but I will have 2 books coming out today or tomorrow officially, and for San Diego Comic Con, Barry Gary Comics, Beachside, and East Coast Comics. and strains to collect. And outside of that, I'm just going to be working on personal pieces, as Albert said, making up for some horrible time management on my part. So definitely a lot of August is all about August is all about rebounding and making very patient people happy. So
there you
All right. Well, you made me happy by making this, my friend.
I'm grateful to be here. Thank you so much again.
No, you're always a pleasure. All right, Jay. Let's go, Gonzo.
Oh shit, man! Let me do this. I will be San Diego Comic-Con signing at the Danny Trejo booth. I did a cover for the Danny Trejo comic. Going to be on that panel. Also going to have the Hispanic Creators panel with Jorge Gutierrez on Saturday. Signing right after that, and then I'm signing at Hero Tomorrow's booth where they have the foil exclusive of Mike Oliveira I did of the Violente cover. I've posted all those times. Go to my Instagram, JGonzoArt, for all of that. I come back to Phoenix for a tiny bit, and then August 5th, I am in North Hollywood. At Collectors Paradise, signing with Henry Barajas, Patrick Hovar, Zach Kaplan, and John J. Pearson. We're doing a signing, one-day signing at Collectors Paradise. August 30th, I'm going to be at Cape and Cowl Con in Oakland, California. That's a one-day show. It's free to enter. It's a great fucking show. The talent there is amazing. It's one of the best one-day shows ever. Then I will also be at Tucson Con with Albert in September. I think there's a show between those. In November, I will be in England at Harrogate for Thought Bubble. And I might be trying to do a signing in London ahead of the Harrogate show. So I might be signing in London in November ahead of the Thought Bubble show. And then New York is a big maybe for me. I do have possibly a retailer exclusive that I will be signing there at a retailer's booth. That is still being sorted out, but it's a big, like probably 60-40 right now of me going. I do obviously have a lot else going on, so if kind of everything, all the stars don't line up perfectly, I probably won't do it just because it's New York and it's expensive and hard to be there. But all those other places I will be. I post about all of the stuff, covers. I got like 20 covers coming out this year. Follow me on Instagram, JGonzoArt, all one word. You can find out more info there.
Let me give you guys some advice for you people who don't sleep.
Get some sleep.
Being a guy who suffered a heart attack years ago, and basically saw the life flash before my eyes, and all I saw was my comics being sold for $20 each for my wife. You need your rest. The stress is a little too much. So, David, I'm looking at you, my brother.
Well, what's the old saying? We'll sleep when we're dead.
Yeah.
You know what? I used to say that, and I really just turned it around and just said, you know what? F that. I'm just gonna.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna. Well, no. In the way of like
balls to the wall, huh? All right.
Well, no, I'm just gonna take my time about like doing my work and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna be staying up late hours anymore. I mean, we're fucking what? How old are you, Gonzo? I think you're older than me, right?
I'm 52.
Yeah. So.
I cannot believe that.
Not quite in the 50s just yet. David, where are you at?
I'm 37.
Oh, fuck you. I'm at 48.
But I look 47. Perfect.
But yeah, no, I just I kind of came to a point of like, you know what? For that reason, man, I think me and you had this conversation too about, the health wise and something like that, Gonzo. I know we've had this conversation.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm not fucking playing around of like, I got kids, I got a family, I got to play dad, and I'd like to be around and fucking enjoy them, and I'd like to fucking enjoy my time, especially after working so much. So my drawing, again, being very selfish with my time, and I know we went over, but yes, I appreciate the kind words there, Caesar, about.
It's scary until it actually happens, right? And then you just find out you're more stressed than you thought, and all that. Plus, I thanks my mom for all those fucking frijoles with the lard that she probably used. They weren't. She wasn't being health conscious, and thank you so much, Mom, for doing that.
The problem with Caesar is when it happened to Caesar, he was really in a jam because he couldn't read the signs to find the fucking hospital.
Oh, Dan. I swear, you son of a bitch. Making fun of heart attacks. What a ruthless soul. Okay, guys. So next week we got K-Van from IG, and we have GRG Homes. We're going to be talking about OAs. We're going to have a show about some OAs and OA arts and collectibles. That's very exciting. Listen, this is fantastic. I'm always pleased. This new show, this new format of just bringing you guys just good stuff every week. And Gonzo and I, like I said, we talked about this. I go, hey, I'm gonna have this new show and this new podcast. I would love to do like a panel of Latinos and Chicanos and and he's like, let's do it. And here we are. That's how quickly time passed. Gonzo, no joke. That was in April.
That was like 4 months ago, something like that. Yeah,
that was 4 months, and here we are.
Right? We did very little talk about being Hispanic as a creator or Latino as a creator
at all. And this is the funny thing about that is that funny you say that, Albert, because I would love to do a part 2. This one, get Raymond on,
please,
and stuff like that, and really do focus, because that's the whole thing about the show. Who cares if we go off topic? That's the way it goes. I always tell you guys, if you guys came over to my house and we sat down in the living room, I don't go, okay, David, today's topic is okay. Hold on. After that, then we're gonna talk. No, you don't do that. You talk about what happens in your living room, and you just talk, and it's an organic conversation. And that's what it's all about. But I want to do a part 2 and really talk about the Latin culture and what it is to be a Latin artist, Hispanic artist, Chicano artist in these times now. I think there's more than I've ever seen. So we could go 4 hours of this shit.
Yeah. Let's just keep going. Okay. What are you guys doing?
I'm
just kidding. Well, David's got more work to do. Apparently.
Let me grab a soda. That guy can sleep under his desk. Remember?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you know, but David's been drawing with his toes the whole time we've been talking.
That's how he gets those textures.
That's how he gets those textures, right? That being said, in a couple of months, I'm booked up to September. Of shows, and the show we're also looking forward to, we're going to have a writers show. We have Thomas Healy, we have Garrett Gunn, we have John Lehman, we have Brett Beatty, we have Ben Beatty, Ben Bates. We have a show just on writers. So these shows will be good for those who are like aspiring writers of like, how do I get in? What do I got to do? Where do I start? That's a good show, man. We got a lot of talent coming up. So love you guys. Truly, Albert, stay behind in the green room so we can kind of just all powwow real quick. That being said, everybody, see you next time. And remember what I always say, don't be a douche. Thank you.